Yo, what's up? So, a lot of people seem to be up in arms over this Jay-Z and Jay Electronica album. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I've been listening to Jay Electronica like since the 2000s or the late 2000s or whatever. And I don't know. It was weird that he never put the album out. I feel like Just Blaze should have been a major part of that, but he wasn't for whatever reasons. I still feel like Jay Electronica, that is, and Just Blaze has an entire album that they did, but for some reason that's not the album we got. More or less, I feel like this album, the only way that they put it out was because Jay was on it. You know what I mean? Because why would you have a debut album filled with Jay-Z songs? Even if you wanted to do the Watch the Throne 2 shit, I feel like that should have been a project that came before this debut album, because in a sense it's a collab album. It's not really a Jay Electronica album. I know everybody's saying that. Everybody's saying the same thing. Nobody really has a different perspective on the album. The production, it reminded me while I'm listening to it. You know how Earl Sweatshirt came with that album? The one after I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, where it just seemed like distorted sounds and he was rapping behind the beat. It reminded me of that a lot. And I was like, damn, Jay Electronica lyricism is there, so is Jay-Z. I was like, wow, he's rapping a little bit more intellectual than he did on 444. But the production, not all of it is dope. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it is. A couple of them songs, I wasn't really feeling the production. That, what is that? That Capacitor record, I think the name of it is. I'm not looking at the track list right now. That's one of the joints that I was just like, it's all right. And then the solo J Electronica record, I wish it was at least 3 minutes long. And I feel like Ho should have definitely had a verse on there, because that was more or less the type of production I feel like Jay would have shined on. But not saying he didn't really do what he do, like it's Jay-Z. But you don't want most of the headlines to be Jay-Z and it's your album. I feel like I'm looking at a lot of reviews. Not a lot. I probably seen one to two. I heard the podcast Joe and them said Joe's right. You know what I mean? Everything he said about Jay Electronica album, what he didn't want to happen, and it did. Yeah, so that podcast was very interesting. And in a sense, yeah, Jay did slap Jay Electronica around on the album. I mean, the Travis Scott situation, that was cool. I feel like some of these songs, when it got to the end, I cannot remember the other record where the second part, like the last 20 seconds, the beat switch. I'm like, why they didn't rap on that? That's what they should have rapped on. I'm like, hell no, that shit would have been fire. And I wish the Travis Scott song was an actual whole song. Like, they should have just went with that right there off the top, because that was just crazy. But I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. We can't really get mad at it. It's here. Either we like it or we don't. I mean, was it short for an album? 10 songs? I mean, for artists of that caliber, or those two MCs, I feel like it could have been a lot more songs. Because I won't compare this to Watch the Throne, because I feel like Watch the Throne is an album that, stands by itself. You definitely can't compare the two. But, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, it's a good album, but it is more or less, you're not gonna keep going back to the album to listen to it. The songs are dope, but I don't feel like the entire album has replay value. You're gonna pick the songs you like, and then that's that. But as far as judging it as a complete body of work from an artist, nah, it ain't what we wanted. You know what I mean? And him as an artist should understand that. It's just like, once he did what he did with the Exhibit C record, and you started seeing him in the headlines and shit, and I was like, oh shit, some fuck with a billionaire. He definitely ain't got to do no more motherfucking music if he don't want to. You know what I mean? And seeing how I think he has a kid with Erykah Badu and everything like that, so it just seemed like he wasn't really on the music side, even though Erykah Badu used to say, yeah, his album coming. You know what I mean? It's done. So I definitely feel like the album we got, it's not the album that everybody was talking about all those years ago. Because hell no, do I believe that this is an album that's been sitting in a desktop somewhere, on files for like 10 years? Hell no. That's the album that the nigga should put out. I think he should have stuck with Act 2. That should have been the album. You know what I mean? Because when you listen to all his old music and you listen to the recent music, at least I did, at least a mixtape on that Piff called Who the Fuck is J Electronica, and did listen to this, I like the mixtape better, and that mixtape is old. You know what I mean? And I was just like, holy shit. But, I mean, lyricism is there. It made it really stand out to me for the simple fact when you think of lyricists, I'm like, damn, listen to this shit. I'm like, okay, so what is Kendrick gonna do next? What is J. Cole gonna do next? Even Lupe, we still waiting on Skulls. And I'm like, this is some top-notch lyricism. But the thing that I'm not respecting about a lot of people, remember, what was that album that came out and they say it's too rap, like a Lupe album, they'll say, oh, it's too rappy rap, like you gotta go to Harvard to be a Lupe fan or something like that. Now, if people really couldn't break down most of Lupe shit, and even some of, Kendrick when he want to be in his bag lyrically, how the hell y'all praising this? And then we know that y'all don't understand most of the shit Electronica was rapping about, even Hove to that point. I just looked at it like, well, this shit is backwards as a motherfucker though. Y'all hate one thing but then praise another thing, which makes no sense. How do you understand this but you didn't understand that? That shit is fucking wicked to me, and it makes really no sense. But I mean, fans gonna be fans. You're gonna have people that say, oh, I understood it, I caught the bars and everything like that. No, because most reviews that came out once the album dropped, really, and I think J Electronica put out something, or Rock Nation or somebody did it, say you can't really review this album within a day. You really got to give it a week to basically break down everything and understand everything. And they're right. But just giving I guess you could call it a first reaction to what you heard, I don't think that take a week. You take away from what you like, what you don't like, and long as you understand something from the music you heard, then I guess you could have kind of a critique on it or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people just gonna do this shit for views. If you're somebody like me who gets none, you have a real opinion because you're not worried about what fans gonna say, what critics gonna say, or if you're gonna get enough views to get what monetized. So yeah, I don't really care about that shit. But the album was cool. I probably listened to it 3 times. But it was really nothing there that was different. Like, both niggas gonna rap their ass off, so I was expecting that. But the one thing that I don't see nobody saying, what did you learn from this album? Remember when we used to learn stuff from music? When you listen to somebody's album, you learn more about who they are as a person, what they've been through. I didn't learn anything. It's been 10 years. Like, what he spoke really on the reason why he didn't feel like he wanted to put out an album. That was cool, but I mean, it's been 10 years. I mean, the slick little Rothschild bar you put out there, that's great. The Islam bars, that was cool. A lot of people had a problem with that. I think Rosenberg said some crazy shit because, Jay Electronica said something about Jewish people, whatever. They went back and forth on Twitter. But other than that, what did you really learn? Like, why were you gone? And I'm not going for that, I didn't think fans would like the music or they would critique it, so I didn't do it. Now, really, I mean, you was like one of the first to be signed to Rock Nation. It was him, J. Cole, and somebody else. Like when Rock Nation first kicked off, this was years ago. You know what I mean? He was like the forefront up there with J. Cole. And to see where J. Cole career is and to see where J. Electronica career is, it's kind of crazy. Because even back in interviews, and that asshole was, what they tell that nigga? The J Electronica album is kind of like the Detox. And that nigga Ho's like, let's hope not. You know what I'm saying? Like, even he wanted this nigga to put the album on. So it's just like, bro, how could you stay on the label that long and not put out a body of work? But it goes to show Jay definitely has favoritism for him. Like Joe say, he love that nigga J Electronica. Because I ain't never heard of a record label keeping your ass there for 10 years. You ain't put out no singles, no music, no nothing. Like, you just really holding up a slot. So that's a question that I feel like should be answered. And I don't know if he gonna do any press interviews or whatever talking about the project, but that's something I want to know. Like, how the fuck do you stay on Rock Nation for 10 years without put out shit? That's crazy to me. I mean, artists get dropped for less. Yeah, so that kind of threw me off. But overall, the album's alright. It was cool. I wish some of the beats was more, I won't say regular, but just like didn't sound so distorted. Like that's the part that threw me off. It's like, why does shit sound so distorted? And Jay Electronica did some of the production himself. I mean, he's not a bad producer, but it just sounds so distorted. It didn't sound refined or anything. You know what I mean? Like at first I'm like, did he get some of these motherfuckers off YouTube? Just type in this type beat? Because I'm like, yo, some of this shit crazy. Other than the Alchemist beat and Swiss and Hit Boy and shit, that was cool, but A-Rap for sure. But damn, some of them beats were just like, what is this shit? And it made the rap sound kind of weird. It's like it's hard to really listen to the rap with that shit in the background. It's like, or in the forefront, and the rap's in the background. It's like it kind of was rough to listen to the project, to say the least. And it took a long fucking time for them to put that on Apple Music, and I was mad at that. But I heard the album, and I had a few moments to where I was like, oh shit, I had to run that back. Even the Ye line, I'm like, did he diss Ye or mention him? And I didn't put it on, I didn't post a tweet because I was like, I couldn't tell, but I knew. I'm like, yo, that's a shot at Ye. And y'all confusing that OJ line. He's talking about the song, the artist OJ's, the Backstabbers. He's talking about OJ Simpson. He talking about himself when he stabbed Un. Turn me back to the OJ. You backstabbers gonna turn back to the OJ. A lot of y'all just thinking it's OJ and the OJs, but it's one more. It's himself when he stabbed Un. So y'all should get that shit straight. But yeah, overall, man, the album was cool. I fuck with it. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. I'm out.